Hello, welcome everyone to this live demo session on SAP UI5 and Fiori training with me, Anubhav. I will be your trainer for next 40 hours on this UI5 and Fiori live training. In this demo session today, we are going to look at what is SAP UI5, followed by a system demo in the live system. This training is designed for an absolute beginner to become expert on SAP UI5. Anyone who is coming just out of college can also learn SAP UI5 with us, as there is no prerequisite to learn this training on UI5. Let's get started our demo session to understand our developer persona. So, who is this training for? This training is designed for Andrew, who is a UI5 developer or UX designer working in a company as a UX designer profile. He would like to start the development of application, the productive application coming out of building just the mockup. Now he would like to start actual productive application. That's what this training is going to help Andrew. Or you are a technical advocate like Larry, working in industry on other UI technologies, for example AngularJS, React.js, or WebDin Pro, for example. Then this training is also going to help you to move on SAP UI5 development technology. You could be a college fresher like John's Peter, who is just out of college and have no experience, yet aspire to become a full stack developer. This training is also going to help you. And finally, if you are an application developer working as an ABAP consultant, portal consultant, as a SAP BSP or WebDin Pro consultant, or basically working already in SAP technical space, this training is going to help you to migrate yourself into the new technology or new world of SAP UI5, which also includes the development on ECC and S4 HANA. Let's look at the course outlook. This training is divided into four phases. In the phase one, we are going to look at fundamentals, which includes web development basics, HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and jQuery. That's why this training is so special, because there is no prerequisite you need to know. We are going to teach you everything from scratch. We are also going to learn development tool like VS Code and Business Application Studio, which is also part of this training. In the second phase, we are going to start with SAP UI5 development with model view controller, so-called MVC architecture. In the third phase, you will learn how to develop Fiori applications. And finally, we will see how to build applications and expose your data from ERP using OData services with OData development in ERP system, and consume these applications in the Fiori app. This 40-hour training is designed for absolute beginner or a ABAP consultant who have never worked on UI5 and aspire to become and transform their career from a dialogue programming or from a WebDin Pro programmer to a Fiori app developer. You all will become expert at the end of 40 hours on building custom Fiori applications from scratch. This is your gateway towards the new technology, new world which you hear around you in your company, and where the job market is the most hot at the moment. So, what do we expect today in this training? In our demo session, it's a demo today, please remember. And in this demo, we are going to learn how to launch our development tool, so called SAP Business Application Studio. We will talk about how to create your first UI5 project into the system. Then we will see what is model view controller architecture, and we will build our first application, a very simple application, and then we will also test that application into the browser. This is what I will be doing end to end throughout this demo today. But remember, it's a demo. Some of you might not understand many parts of the demo today because the maturity level on UI5 is very low. However, I'll try myself best to make you learn at least the flow so that you can get at least a one full-fledged application ready by end of demo. So let's get started. Any development which we do in software industry, it starts with the development tool. So the development tool which we use when it comes to UI5 is the Business Application Studio tool. And here I already have a Business Application Studio tool running in my computer. How did I reach here and how I have set up the Business Application Studio tool for the first time? This topic is covered in our next class. Our today's focus is to just see a simple application being built on the Bash tool and show you the output. But how exactly we reach to the Bash tool, which is free, we will learn in the next episode. So here is our Bash tool, a typical development tool like any other development tool you might have worked in your career. On the left hand side, you see all the projects, and on the right hand side, you will see all the project area where any artifact which you will willing to edit, it will be visible. So what we will now do is we are going to start a new project over here. We call this as UI5 demo. So a project in Business Application Studio tool is called a folder, nothing but a folder. So we are going to create first of all a folder over here, which is going to be my project. So I will just simply go and open a simple command terminal and create a directory. So in childhood days, we learned the basic commands on Windows, like making a directory. So I will just call the same command mkdir, make a new directory UI5 demo. So that creates a new directory for us. And this is exactly our project is all about. You can make out with this command, a directory got created over here in my project workspace. And now I can start editing the same. So what I will now do is I will expand the UI5 demo. It has nothing in it. And I will start with my first file, which is going to start my application. So let's create a new file called index.html. Why index.html? Why not index. Something else? The reason being, any application which you start, which is built on UI5, it starts with a launcher file. So this is our launcher file where we are going to put all our basic code for initialization. Like in C program, you start with a function, studio.h, conio.h, right? And then you put a main function. Similarly, we are starting always with this file. This is our launcher file to start our project. Now, any HTML file, it's basically going to be understood by browser. And typically HTML file consists of two components, which is called header and the body. So this is the header of the HTML and this is the body of the HTML. So we have header and the body. There are these two components of a HTML file. In the header of the HTML, we will put all the initialization code. This is the brain of the HTML. And in the body, we will put all the actual content. So since we are developing application on UI5, we need to initialize the UI5 framework. So I just used a word called framework. So let me explain what is SAP UI5 in general and what is a framework. So if we talk about quickly the introduction of what is SAP UI5, we will understand that UI5 is a framework to develop web applications. So what is a framework? So when you talk about a framework, framework is nothing but it's a collection of libraries. What is a library? Library is nothing but it's a collection of classes. What is a class? Class is nothing but it's a collection of attributes, functions, and events. Correct? Which means you are not reinventing the wheel. You are just using a framework, which is what going to produce the user interface for us. The world is gone when we used to start everything from scratch. This is a new world of the century where we have most of the things can be done by frameworks, reusability. So you have lots of frameworks available. You use them You import them and you start building on them. That's what UI5 does to us. It's a framework. But how do I load this framework? To load this framework, SAP provide a bootstrap code. To start, like in C program, you do studio.h, conio.h to load the libraries in C. Similarly, here SAP provides a simple code to load this framework as well. It's done using a special tag in HTML called script tag with source, and you can put the address where the framework is. So it is available on sapui5.hana.ondemand.com. Resources, SAP UI Core.js. So this is the starting point to load the framework provided by SAP. How do I know about this link? So I know this with the help of something called Software Development Kit provided by SAP. This we will cover more in detail in our unit number 11 in our class. Right now, it is good to get started with this snippet of code. Now, this framework is consist of lots of libraries. So I need to tell the system which library I'm willing to load. So I will say data, SAP UI libs, which is a keyword, and I'll load a SAP mobile library to develop mobile controls. You can also go ahead and test this browser, this link in the browser quickly to see if it responds something or not. You see it is responding something. We don't really care what it responds, but it should come as an output. Something should come. So basically it's a framework code which system is loading. The next line, what we need to do is we need to specify all my project resources. So I need to inform SAP UI5 that where all my project resources are kept. So they are kept by, they are done by specifying resource root, and we will specify the resource root about where my project files are. So my project files are in a directory, a current working directory, and I will name this current working directory as web app. So I will create a web app directory where I'm going to keep all my project files. Last but not the least, I will also load a theme file. So data SAP UI theme. A theme file will load the experience. So I will load SAP Fiori 3 experience with a dark color. So that is what we are now doing. So this completes our bootstrap code when it comes to building our first application. Now, in order to test this basic thing, we will also add a classification property at the body level, SAP UI body, so that I can understand and see at least a black color screen when I test my app. Okay. Now, you might be confused about this word. So let's understand quickly this one. So basically what we are saying that all my project files from now on will be part of this web app folder. But where is the web app folder? It doesn't have right now. So let me create one web app folder here. So I'm going to right click and create a new folder called web app. And then I'm going to move our file inside the web app folder, drag and drop. Yes. So you can see now we have the folder, and that's our current working directory. So we are saying my current working directory is called web app. You can actually change this as alias name. You can keep it Anubhav also, no problem. It will also work. So it always points to this particular web app directory, the directory which we have out there with the name web app. It's going to point that because that's my current working directory. Why we need to do? Because we need to tell the system where all my application resources are. Yes, that's why we need to do that. Having said that, let's now go ahead and create a button. So I will go ahead and create now a button class because we are building a user interface. So I would like to add a button on the screen, but I will not add the button just the way I want. I will add it inside a modular component called view. So let's put a script tag, another script tag where we can write our logic, and we are going to instantiate a view. So the syntax to create any object in UI5 is var. Var is a variable. Object name equals to new, the class name. This is the syntax to create any object in UI5. So we're creating a view new SAP UI view, and we will say the view name, and we will say view type, and the type of the view is going to be XML. And here we are going to put Anubhav dot main dot. Yes. So we are saying that I have a view with the name called main view, and it's part of Anubhav folder. What is Anubhav folder? It's my web app directory. But right now you see we don't have this main view at the moment. But before even that, what is a view? So let's come back to the slide and understand what is view in general. So it's called model view controller architecture, or so called MVC, model view controller. Those who have worked on WebDin Pro and BSP, they know that. But those who have not worked on WebDin Pro, this is predominantly a new concept for you. So in IT industry, there are lots of design patterns to build solutions. So whenever we want to develop a application which has user interface, we use this design pattern, which is an industry standard. Yeah, it's an industry standard. So this industry standard says your user will always interact with the view. Yes. So your user will always interact with the view. So all the input output happens via the view. The view will then have events, and whenever they click on button, for example, the event will trigger, and the processing of event happens inside something called controller. So controller is nothing but your processing unit where you will write all the logic inside event handler. And if at all there is a need for data exchange, that is done using model. So model is the place where we have all the data. And together this is called MVC architecture, very much inspired by engineering. So engineering, you have input output, we have processing, and we have data. So we will now create a view and controller today for the demonstration purpose. So a view is typically created in XML format. Now I know many of you are absolutely new to the XML format, but don't worry. In our unit number 12, I am going to explain basics of XML. But for now, I need to create a skeleton of the view. You might not understand the syntax, but that's absolutely fine. You know now the architecture. So let's switch over back and we will create a new view. So for that, I will go to web app folder and create a new file with the main.view.xml. So this is actually the extension of the file. This is the extension of the file. So let's click on OK, and that creates a view. So you can see my teaching methodology is very different from other trainers, where other trainers does a copy paste of code. I don't do that. I will write every single line of code in the training, which is what you will get comfortable with throughout this journey. So view is also a class, and this class belongs to a MVC library. So we'll say MVC, and we will define what is MVC means. MVC means a class which is given by SAP UI core MVC. This is the library in which this view classes. So this is the library name. Then we will also define another variable, another namespace called SAP mobile library, so that I can add controls from mobile library as well. So this completes my view definition. It's more of a tree data structure you can make out. We have a tree. Yes. So this is our view definition. This is the skeleton of a view. So let's also put a button now. So I'm going to put a button. So button is also a class, and you can see system is showing me code completion in the Business Application Studio. Wow. So we're going to learn about more details on the button class and other classes which UI5 provides. Where are they? How to check documentation in unit number 14. So for time being, I will just create a button with a text property. Click me. And I will also put press. When the button is clicked, what should happen? So it should fire a event called on click. So this is my button code. Together in that, I will also put an image. So let me put an image with the ID as ID image. And the source of the image, I'm going to get it from Google. At the beginning, this image will be not visible to the user. This image is hidden from the user. But what's the image? So let's go to Google and search my favorite cartoon character, Mickey Mouse. And I will go to images, and I have lots of Mickey Mouse images. Perhaps I will pick up one of them. Let's say this one. I will right click and say copy image address. We'll come back and paste it over here. Superb. So that's our image. Yes. So now what we will do is every view will also have a controller where you write the processing logic. So you're saying when the button is clicked, trigger this on click event handler. But where is it? It's not there right now. So we need a controller. So let's create a controller, attach a controller. You can see controller name, Anubhav.main. So main is going to be also a controller with the same name as the view name. So view name is also main, controller name is also going to be main. So let's create a controller now inside the same directory. And we put the extension .controller.js. And here is where we will put our controller file. So every time you define a class in C programming, you write C, my class, right? So every programming has different ways of defining classes. Similarly, UI5 also has one. So here the syntax is called SAP UI define to define a class. Wow. And now a class can depend on other class. So we can put all the dependencies in the bracket, and then we will, once these dependencies are loaded, the system is going to call this function. So this is the skeleton for creating class in UI5. We've created our first class, or we're creating our first class. Now what will we need to do is, since it's not a normal class, it's a controller class, we need to add a special dependency given by SAP. And this dependency is called SAP UI core MVC controller. This is the dependency we must have to add since it's a controller class. And we will add this dependency object here. We will receive it. And what we will do is we will return a child class. So we will extend this SAP standard dependency. This is the skeleton to create a controller, a class actually in UI5 of type controller class. And we'll say the name of my class is Anubhav.main, comma, what is the actual code of this class? That is written here. And since it's a function, it should return something. So this completes the skeleton of your controller. We have 1 hour lecture in our training, lecture number 16, where I'm going to spend 1 hour to just explain these 10 lines of code more in detail so that you get comfortable on UI5 properly. It's a demo session today, so that's why perhaps I'm not going so much in detail. It's time that we write the logic. So we have the button click, on click. So let's write the on click function here, where we will have the logic. And what we will do, we will just get this image object, which is currently false. Visible is false. We are going to make it visible true at runtime. So we need object of the image. So what we will do is we will say, hey, this dot my controller object, get me the view object because the image is inside the view. Get me the object of the image, and then make that image visible at runtime. Very simple exercise. Yeah, we just click on the button and it should make my image visible. The one last thing which I need to do is to come here and also add this view to the body of HTML. So we will come and put a div tag with a ID called content. So this is basically a kind of placeholder. Yeah, it's a kind of a placeholder. It's a kind of a container where I will place my view. So let's place the view. So o view dot place at in the content. Content is the element which we created for ourselves. That's what we have done. Now let us go ahead and test this now. So I'm going to come back and test this. So we're going to right click and just test open preview. Awesome. And oops, I don't see my button. So something have gone wrong. Let me cross check what has gone wrong. To be able to do that, we will just quickly check if the view is proper. I think, let me check, right click and inspect. This is how we also troubleshoot any UI5 application. So we can make out that it is unable to load fail to load the view. So I think I got the reason. There is a slight change here. We have to put the namespace first, or the name first, and then the folder path at the second. And let's give it a try now. So we can right click, and voila, you can see the button is there on the screen. Awesome. Yes, right. Superb. So now we will click, and oops, still my Mickey Mouse is not coming, which means that's a second problem. So what we have done is we are saying on press call on click, and in my controller there is a on click function with the on click name. So here is on click, and we should try to get the image object and make it visible. So something is going wrong there. So I wanted to open this into a browser session. So we can right click on the browser and inspect. And in here, we will see a URL. Okay. We will see a URL of the application over here. Here it is. And now I will just use and open this over here. Yes. So let's check it out in the console. And I click the button. But you see, it is not even triggering my controller, which means there is something we are missing in the controller. So we will also learn troubleshooting of UI5 application in our training. Yeah, that will be a major topic for our learning as well. So let me just cross check why it's not loading. It should ideally load. So on click is the event, extend, comma. We are returning from here. We are returning. I missed a space. That could be one reason. And yeah, this looks good. I think this return is not required. Yeah, let's give it a try now. No, it is required. It will not complete the skeleton. So there's something we are missing. This is the name of the controller. It's in the same folder. So basically it's not triggering my controller. Let me just cross check. What am I doing wrong? So we have put in the controller name over here. We are calling this controller. Let me also put a alert to check at least it's coming to the controller or not. Has come. I'm going to switch over back and refresh my page. So you see, it's not even going to the event handler. There is something wrong. It's not going to on click. So I'll go back and check press. This is our button. When the button is pressed, call on click. On click is an event handler on my controller. So it's not going to that controller. It's not attaching to my controller actually. Controller name anubhav.main and main.controller.js. SAP UI Core MVC controller. This is the base class for registering a controller, and we're returning an extension of that. There is something we are missing over here. Let me just cross check. So this is on click function. Yeah, I'll just save. Let me refresh. It's not calling my button. No problem. Let me just cross check here itself. Press text. So let me just check why it's not calling our button. What's our folder path? It's called Anubhav. No. Okay, I have to check this probably offline. Why is it not calling our button? Yeah. So maybe there is something wrong. It's not calling. I have to cross check that offline and then maybe I have to come back to you in the next class. So basically what will happen eventually, when you click, it should load the button. Okay, that's what the system should do. It should load. Let me also check in my another file, the skeleton of the controller. There is something we are typing wrong about this controller class, SAP controller. So
Hello,
because,
sir.
yes, please.
Yeah, sir. So Anubhav folder was not there. It is with the folder something else, I guess.
It is the Anubhav folder. If you can come and check, you see the name of the current folder is Anubhav. And that's why it has
So the
loaded our.
same should be, yes, sir. In the left hand side, the same name should be there, right?
No. So we have already told UI5 that my current working directory is going to be named Anubhav. Yeah. So this is my current
Okay, sir.
working directory web app. It is going to be named Anubhav. Anyway, I'll check that. So let's come back and see quickly some of the important questions for this demo. Frequently asked questions. So the first question, what will be the duration of this training and what's the prerequisite? So the duration of this course is 40 hours and there is no prerequisite for you to become a UI5 consultant. Yes, you just need basic programming skills. That's more than enough to become a consultant of UI5 here in this case. What timing does the timing doesn't suit me? So can I go with video mode of training? Yes, certainly you can go with video mode of training if timing doesn't suit you. We already have pre-recorded most recent batch which was completed on UI5. If the timing doesn't suit you, you can go completely with video based training and you can learn from videos with your own convenience and you can ask your questions over the email. So you can send out an email to us for your questions if you have any, and that way you can also learn. So what tool are we going to use in this training and how do we get those tools? So guys, we are going to use two tools. One is VS Code, which is a very predominantly used tool nowadays in the industry. And then we will also use Business Application Studio mainly. These two tools are we going to use in this training. Web ID, some people are curious about Web ID tool. They heard Web ID tool is the tool. So guys, Web ID is an old tool. SAP has discontinued that tool and there are no improvements happening on that tool. So we will not be using Web ID tool in this training. We will focus more on the BAS tool, Business Application Studio tool. That's what we will focus. What about the server access? So some of you are willing to get also the server access for practicing OData. So don't worry, we will also provide you the server access if demanded, if needed. Yeah, that's what we will be providing to you if you need it. But usually you can use your company server. I will guide you. There is a 1 hour dedicated lecture only on the server part, which we will explain to you. Okay, that's what we will do. So you can go through the main part. So that's one part of the server. Then comes to the next set of questions, which might be interesting for us is, will you cover the real time scenario? So yes, we will cover a real time scenario and we will cover actually a end to end app developed on Fiori. And finally, we will connect it to the real SAP OData service from SAP system. We will develop, design, deliver, deploy this application to production system eventually. I'm new to UI5. Can I learn? Yes, you can learn and it's very easy. There are so many students of mine who have done that. This course is designed in a way that even a fresher can learn. You might have seen the strategy. It's no copy paste strategy of learning the code. So we will also cover the basics of HTML, CSS and JavaScript and jQuery in this training. What if I miss a class? How do I refer the same? So every class will be recorded like the one which we have today. We will record the class. And if you even miss a class or not miss a class, you will always have the recording after the class available for yourself. We will give you a portal access where you can access those recordings. What's the process to enroll for this training? It's very simple. Just drop us an email on contact@anubhavtrainings.com and you will get enrolled for this training very easily. Okay, I think I have also a 2 minutes of time to just try out our issue which we can look at. So I'll switch over back, and you see I've written a function statement actually that is unnecessary. We can just remove that. Yes, it's not needed. And we can just define our on click function here. So this is why it was not triggering the function. So I missed the skeleton part. The correct skeleton is, this is the correct skeleton for our controller. Okay. So this is the correct skeleton of our controller. This part is the skeleton of our controller. Yeah. So now I will put a on click function back again over here. Yes. And now let's go ahead and give a try to our application. So I'll refresh and I click, and you see it has come to the code, and we should see the Mickey Mouse image. It's not loading because the image itself which I've got is not correct. Let me get the correct image from Google again. So we'll go back and get some image with a transparent background perhaps. So let me just check the colors as transparent background, and we have a lot of them. So we can just pick up any one of them like this one, and let's right click and copy image address. Let's come back. So I will come here back to the Business Application Studio, and we will put the image address over here in the image. All right, so it's time for Mickey Mouse. Let's go ahead and check. We will refresh, and right now the image is not visible. I click, and there you go. You can see Mickey Mouse is out there. So this is how exactly we can go ahead and proceed with a very simple one-page application by utilizing model, view, and controller. Having said that, I kept my part very small today because I know you must be having lots of other questions as well. So with that, I will hand over to the audience for rest of the time, which is left over in this demo, about 20 more minutes, for your question and answers if you have any question and answers on this training. So everyone, your lines are open, and you can ask now your questions one by one, please. Any questions about this training?
Anubhav, Sujay here. Are you going to take annotations as well as part of this course?
No. So there are two ways we can develop Fiori applications. So the first way is called freestyle way of developing application, and the second way of developing using Fiori elements. In the Fiori elements, again, we have two more subparts. One is using UI annotations using annotations XML, which are coded on the front end, and one is CDS based annotation, which are coded in the backend system. So these are the main ways of developing Fiori apps. The current training which we have here today, or the next 40 hour, we will focus on freestyle development. So this is our UI5 and Fiori training. Yes. So once this training is complete, this is your first footstep towards the journey of new technology. So when you want to go to roof from the ground, you will take stair by stair. You will not jump off like Spider-Man directly on the roof, right? So this is our first step, UI5 and Fiori training. Once this is done, you can go to the next training, which is called Fiori Advanced course. This is where we cover Fiori elements. So in this training, we will cover Fiori elements and Fiori extension, because the knowledge of UI5 project and Fiori project itself is very critical here, without which we cannot jump to advance. Not possible. Somebody can try, it's your choice, but I'm not a kind of a developer which would like to learn something very advanced without learning basics. So I don't feel confident if I don't know fundamentals. And these fundamentals will get very much clear after the current training. So if you are new, beginner, and you are confused which one to take, what to take, don't get confused. Close your eyes and start with the current module UI5 and Fiori training. Then if you're willing to become a CDS consultant with annotation, then you can join my ABAP on HANA training. In this training, we are covering CDS based annotation and how to build Fiori Elements app using CDS and CDS POPF integration as well. So these are the different ways we can develop applications using Fiori. And now you know the correct path to take. In my opinion, the first training which you should take is this one. The second training which you should take is this one. And the third training you should take is this one. After these three training, you can become a full stack SAP developer. A full stack SAP developer have a great career prospect and salaries. Majority of the top companies, for example, SAP Labs, they hire only full stack SAP developer these days. So this has a great chances to increase your job openings or increase in your chances of getting into the job market will be highly increased. But even after the first training, I've seen many of the students they do very well, very well in the industry, because nobody is asking these days to develop dialogue programs or WebDin Pro programs in the industry. People are expecting you to develop Fiori apps as a ABAP consultant. So this is the journey which you can take slowly, and I have all the modules available with me in the same way of teaching. No copy paste of code. Any other questions?
Hi, I
Hello.
have a question.
Yes, ladies first.
How many hours a week does the class happen?
So this will be 1 hour a day. So in a week, it will be 5 hour a day. Sorry, 5 hour a week. So in total,
Okay.
we will spend 8 weeks. Yes, 8 into 5, 40 hours is the total duration which for this training. So around 2 months, it will take you to become a UI5 consultant. If you have kind of little urgency to cater to the current projects and ongoing deadlines, and you want to speed up your learning with like very fast, then you can go with video mode of training. So through the videos you can also learn.
Okay. Also, if I were to practice on my own and I have problems with the code, would I be able to contact you?
So what we do is at the end of every training session, we will provide you the source code of the files which we develop during the classes, like the one which you saw today. So you can compare your code with my code always. You will also get the
Mhm.
video recording. Still, if you have problems, you can send out an email to me. I will provide my email ID in the next class where you can send out your emails, and we will try to solve the problem immediately. So our SLA is like a 2 hour SLA. So within 2 hours, you'll get a response from our side.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, my name is Desu. Is
Mhm.
this course available on YouTube or
No,
just on the website?
it's only available on our website. On YouTube, we just have demo videos, which might not be so helpful. So it's only available in our website in a sequence of flow. On YouTube, we do have some advanced videos, but not the main content. Okay.
Sir, what is the
So
cost
this
of
side
this
Manish.
course?
So for the cost and the administration related activities like process to join and all, you can contact my team on contact@anubhavtrainings.com.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So this side Manish.
Yeah, hi Manish.
May I have this tool? May I have the course content so that I can go through and what you will cover
Yes.
in
So
first step of this?
right, Manish.
Yeah, as you
Yeah. So
yes.
not just course content, you can also go ahead and watch a teaser video where I explain clearly about the entire UI5 structure, or basically no training institute will provide such kind of a teaser video today, because they tend to hide what they teach. Because in the training institutes, what happens, the person who is training is different and the person who is selling you the course is different. So that's what a big difference you will find in industry. The person who is selling you the course will tell you 100 promises, but the trainer's expectation is very different. Yeah. So you can see this is our course page on our website. I will give you the link in the chat window. Yes. And here what you eventually see is you will see here a teaser video as well on UI5. Yes, this is the teaser video. You'll see what we are going to cover in the whole course. And when you come down, you can eventually find out the course content also over here. Discover the course content, and here you can see the complete course content on this website. Yeah. So this is what something which will help you to understand what we are planning to cover. It's a very elaborated course content. Yes. So it's a very elaborated training. It will make you very comfortable with the latest technologies in the world of SAP. So that's my promise to all of you. And there is no one between you and me here. Anubhav Trainings is my own company, and it's the one which is completely run through by me. Majority of the trainings you see here are owned by me, and I'm the one who is going to teach also the same thing. You can also go and check our YouTube video for more demo videos. So we do have amazing YouTube content, free YouTube content for demo purpose. Yes, you can just go ahead and check the playlist. We have about more than I think 180 plus demo videos only on 200 plus demo videos only on UI5 basics. So this is a teaser video. Let me also give the link for teaser video. You can just check the teaser video also to know what is that we are going to cover in this training in the next 40 hour. Yeah, so that also you can check to get full confidence that are you at the right place, are you giving your time to a person who is really going to value add to your career, value add to your resume. So that's something you can check. There are lots of other videos. Any video you can pick it up randomly and just explore and check the teaching style, and then you can make your decision.
Will we see here after completing this course the app would we deploy on Fiori Launchpad?
Yes, तो हम लोग लॉन्च पैड में डिप्लॉय करेंगे, जरूर करेंगे. And we will also deploy to SAP system, and then we will move it via transport to quality and production, and then we will also explore it on the launchpad as a tile. So we will do that.
Anubhav, how long
Okay.
can I access the recordings? What was the timeline for that?
So it is from after that course is complete, 6 more months you will be able to access all the recordings. But again, let's say if you want to extend it, you can extend with the minimal fees to store these recordings in the cloud. We don't charge you again for training fees. We will just charge for the storage fees into the cloud for the recordings.
Yeah, thank you. So this will be like applicable for all the courses, like, or for this
Yes,
only?
all the
Like,
courses. In the past, we used to give download of recording like 6, 7 years ago. But what happened? People started selling them, and people started making groups, and they started selling those recordings, which actually degraded our name, because people are selling like very old recording, 8 year old content, 9 year old content, which is not relevant in today's context anymore. Things are changing very fast, and what we do with every batch, we try to include new topics and try to adapt as per the SAP's best practices and guidelines coming in terms of Fiori development. So that is what we tend to do typically. So that's why we
so
stop
when you,
download of
so,
recordings. You can
so
imagine people
Anubhav, when you say,
started duplicate website with my name, and they are selling this, they're claiming that they are Anubhav, and they're putting my videos out there. So only authentic website from where you should buy is anubhavtrainings.com. That is what the correct website. So you see, usually when something gets famous, people start piracy of that. So that's a very common thing. So don't get trapped into somewhere else or some groups. Just be sure that you are at the right place and you're getting the content from the right place, because it's not just about getting content, it's also getting support on the questions on the server, and on the other all the other things which you perhaps might miss if you get trapped with somewhere else. Mhm.
so Anubhav, when I'm going to extend a course, so then I will get a recent batch video, or like I will get the old recordings only?
No, recent batch video. So we do already have
Okay.
completed a batch last week. So you will get all the latest content. And as of now, I see there is no difference between the most recently completed batch and the current batch which we have. So
And the support will also be provided for that
yes, yes,
extended course, right?
obviously, because you are directly coming to us, so certainly support will be provided. Okay, cool.
Thank you, Anubhav.
Thank you, everyone. So that's the end of our demo session today. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope to see
Hi
you
Anubhav.
next class tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, we have the class starting. Today was a demo, and tomorrow onwards, we have our regular class. So don't delay your sign up process. I will share the email ID once again in the chat window where you can send an email and contact them. Remember, don't call us, we will call you. So you have to just drop an email and wait for the reply, complete the process, registration process, and then we will send you the subscription email. Do not bank on phone again and again. I usually see on a demo day we get heavy traffic, we get heavy emails and heavy number of phone calls. It will be hard to answer everyone, so please just follow email process, communicate over email. We will certainly make sure that you'll not miss tomorrow's class. Yes, there was one more question coming up. Please go ahead.
Hi Anubhav. Do you have any class notes for this?
Yes, so this is our class note PPT, like the one you see today I built. This will also be shared with you over the training blog actually. So what we will do is we will prepare a PPT like this, and every day I will put notes inside this PPT. Let me show you one already completed batch PPT where I have prepared. So basically you will see me making a book during the training, a complete training book we will make during this process. So this is our most recently completed batch last week, which ran for 2 months. And you see here, every single thing I explain like this, line by line, no copy paste. And this entire book, you will get it on daily basis. And this one is downloadable. You can download and it will also help you in the interview process. We'll cover all interview questions as well throughout this journey. Yeah. So like this, you will see a complete ebook we will prepare during the class, and this PPT you will also get it.
So the link that
Okay.
we have now we'll be able to use tomorrow to join the class?
No, the link will be different. So once you sign up for the training, after sending an email on contact@anubotrainings.com, you will be getting a training blog access. And on that training blog access, eventually you will be seeing the link to join tomorrow's class. Let me show you that also quickly. Just give me a second. I got to open that link. I pause my screen for a second. So what you eventually see is you will see this kind of a training blog. Yes. Yeah. And in here, you will see this class schedule tab, this one. And in here you will see a Google Calendar invite, and where you will see the links to join the regular classes. Okay. So that's how you will see. Typically, once you get subscription, you'll get an email like this. And in that, there will be a class schedule tab where you can see the links to join regular classes. All the appointments you will see there. It's a full self-service. And let me show you, this is my like past to past batch, like 2 batches ago. And you see, this is how all the video recordings will look like for each and every single topic. You will all be able to go through them. So if you're joining the live class, the video recording will come after the class is complete. But if you go with video mode, you'll get all video recordings in one go. Yes. This way you can also learn with video mode training. So choice is yours which mode you want to go based on your convenience. If I'm at your place, I'll go with live training because live training has a different level of energy and we can ask the questions right away there itself with the trainer. So that's a convenience live training gives us.
So, and then is there a cost for this for tomorrow?
Yes, so there is certainly a cost. You got to drop an email on contact@anubotrainings.com. The email ID is already in the chat window. Just contact them to know about the subscription process. What's the process to sign up for this training? And they will send you all the necessary details on your mailbox. All right, so that's the end of today's class. Thank you so much once again for joining today's session in this demo with us. I hope to see you in the next episode tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.